Hey guys, my name's Jordan and I'll be presenting Kolcaba's theory of comfort. To start off a little bit about Katharine Kolcaba, she was born in 1994 in Cleveland, Ohio. She received a nursing diploma from St. Luke's Hospital School in Cleveland. And she then practiced as a medical surgical nurse, a long-term care nurse, and a home care nurse. And then in 1987, she graduated in the first RN to MSN class at Western Reserve University. She was a faculty member at the University of Akron College of Nursing. She then received her doctorate in 1997 from Case Western University. Katharine Kolcaba is a certified in gerontology, and she does continue to teach and has published numerous articles discussing the concept of comfort and how it relates to nursing. She's married to a philosopher, Dr. Raymond J. Kolcaba. They have 2 daughters and 8 grandchildren. And then she first started developing her comfort theory when she was in her master's program. So Katharine Kolcaba derived her ideas for her comfort theory from 4 early nursing theorists. The relief aspect of her theory was derived from Ida Jean Orlando, who stated that nurses relieve the needs expressed by their patients. She developed the ease portion of her theory from Virginia Henderson, and Henderson described the 14 basic functions of human beings to be maintained during care. And then she developed the transcendence portion from Josephine Patterson and Loretta Serad, and they propose that patients rise above their difficulties with the help of nurses. So there's 4 theory assumptions in the comfort theory. The first one is that human beings have holistic responses to complex stimuli. Secondly, comfort is a holistic outcome of effective nursing care. Third, human beings have a need for comfort and will seek comfort whenever possible. And then 4th, nurses are in a position to identify the comfort needs of their patients, design comfort measures, and assess outcomes to support enhanced comfort. So a little background on the comfort theory. Like I mentioned, she started it in her master's program in 1988, and in this class it was taught by Mary Ellis, who was a well-known theorist at that time. Her professor, Mary Ellis, had given the students an assignment, and the assignment was to diagram their own practice, to show relationships between concepts of practice, and then also define those. And at the time, Kolcaba was working on a dementia patient unit where a vast majority of the patients were nonverbal, and she explains how they were constantly trying to figure out how to keep them calm and comfortable and help them complete tasks of optimum function, such as activities, showering, brushing their teeth. And then she also stated that she would observe when the residents were agitated, all the other residents would become agitated, and they wanted to figure out why and how to keep that from happening. And so Katharine Kolcaba mentions that when she was imagining all this, she could just picture, she figured out that they were missing this desirable state of comfort, so they weren't able to complete these optimum tasks of function. So she first published her theory in 1991 at a conference, and somebody in the audience had asked if she had ever done a concept analysis. And she, at that point, she was kind of surprised, and she thought, oh, I haven't. So she told the person in the audience that she had never done a concept analysis, but that was her next step. And Katharine stated that she then felt she had made a commitment to go ahead and do a concept analysis. And she states at the time this made her really nervous because she had never had a concept analysis class and she didn't know how to do it. But she was married to a philosopher who ended up helping her do this concept analysis. So when they tried to publish their concept analysis, it got a lot of really bad reviews. It was rejected from 3 to 4 American journals, and one of the journals actually told them that it was so hard to read it gave them a headache. It was finally accepted by the Journal of Advanced Nursing, which was a journal from Great Britain. The conceptual framework for the comfort theory initially begins with the healthcare needs of the patient or family, and pain and anxiety are the most common needs that we address for the patient and the family. And then comfort interventions, these are interventions that the nurse can do to help control the comfort, such as pain management, repositioning, environmental factors, keeping the door closed so it's quieter, turning the lights down. Intervening variables are factors that influence a patient's perception of total comfort. These might include past experiences, such as age, attitude, emotional state, support system, prognosis, and finances. So these are things that the nurse doesn't necessarily influence. These all build up to enhanced comfort, which can include cultural aspects of patients. It can include language barriers. So we may provide an interpreter, or patients who have a hard time reading, we may provide larger print. Hard of hearing patients that may need hearing devices. It's not always just about pain. And then health-seeking behaviors. This is less anxiety, happier and more comfortable patients. And then 3 subgroups play into health-seeking behaviors. One is internal behaviors, and these are learned behaviors to keep homeostasis for the patient. And so a good example of this is blood pressure. As we provide more comfort to the patient, they're less anxious, their blood pressure will go down. And so this is an internal behavior. Peaceful deaths. Sometimes the patient is more comfortable than the family with death. So we need to remember that the family is also a part of this conceptual framework, and we'll address the family's concerns as well as the patient's in providing and assisting in a peaceful and dignified death. External behaviors can be things that the patient doesn't want to do or is afraid of doing. So, for example, if a patient is recovering from open heart surgery, they may be scared for physical therapy or to deep cough and breathe. And so if we keep them comfortable, they may enter these external behaviors with a better attitude and more motivation. So we just want this overall experience to be more natural. Institutional integrity has 2 pieces that play into it that go hand in hand, and these are best practices and best policies. And as we abide by best practices and implement best policies, this is going to increase our institutional integrity. And as we increase our institutional integrity, the patient has a more pleasant experience, a quick recovery, decrease the length of stay, and no poor outcomes. So, and then they're more likely to recommend this institution to other patients. Initially, Kolcaba when she developed the structure of comfort needs, she knew that she needed relief, ease, and transcendence, and that needed to be addressed in a physical and mental state. As she presented at another conference, it was brought to her attention that this wasn't a holistic view of the patient. And so then she included the environmental and sociocultural aspects of it. So across the top are the 3 types of comfort: relief, ease, and transcendence. And relief is described as a state of a patient who has a specific need met. Ease is a state of overall calm and contentment, and transcendence is a state in which a person rises above problems and pain. And then down the side are the 4 contexts of comfort: physical, psychospiritual, environmental, and sociocultural. Physical pertains to bodily sensations and homeostatic mechanisms. Psychospiritual pertains to internal awareness of self. This can include esteem, sexuality, life meaning, and relationship to a higher being. Environmental pertains to the external surroundings, conditions, and influences. So this may be altered by the patient, nurse, or others. Sociocultural pertains to interpersonal, family, societal relationships, family traditions, rituals, and religious practices. To apply that theory into real life, you can consider a 45-year-old female of Hispanic ethnicity. Say she's recovering in PACU from colon cancer and just had a colon resection. So to address relief of her physical, of the physical aspect of it, we are going to address her pain, the nausea. And then to ease the physical aspect of it, we may make sure that she's comfortable in bed and that her body is achieving homeostasis. Her vital signs are stable. And then transcendence for physical. The patient may be thinking, how can I tolerate the pain when I wake up? And so with our interventions, we're going to make it so that they can overcome that and that their pain is controlled. So the psychospiritual relief is when we control their anxiety. So they may have anxiety about their prognosis, and so we can employ different interventions to decrease their anxiety, whether that be they have family there or they're well educated about their prognosis. And then maybe they need spiritual support to overcome their prognosis or anxiety. So we can provide a chaplain or a leader that they may request. Environmental relief, sometimes it can be noisy in the PACU, so or bright lights or cold, so we can provide warm blankets, turn down the lights, and also there can be a lack of privacy, maybe multiple people in a big room, so if curtains are there, we can provide privacy with curtains. And then they can overcome that. Maybe we can have family back in the PACU to help them feel calm and provide a more familiar environment. Sociocultural, so there may be things within the Hispanic culture that will make us more sensitive to their care. Maybe a female patient prefers female caregivers. We can ease their sociocultural burdens by possibly having their family present or having an interpreter present for any type of language barriers. And then transcendence for sociocultural aspects of this model, maybe provide their significant other or more information or consultation. So there's an example of how we can apply this theory into a practical setting. The last slide just provides 5 questions to help apply Kolcaba's theory of comfort model to practical practice and also assess understanding of the model. So go ahead and take a look at these questions, and then the last slide is my references. So thank you for watching.